Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week like always. Today is the day, finally. I'm continuing with my Kate Bush discography journey. A lot of you have been wanting me to do more Kate Bush videos, so your wish is my command, and I'm going back to the very beginning to where it all started with her very first album, The Kick Inside from 1978. And she was only 19 years old when this album was released. If you did watch my very first Kate Bush video where I listened to her Hounds of Love album, it was, for me, one of the best experiences on this channel. That video is one of my favorites because I discovered a brand new artist. It was my very first time listening to her, and I fell in love. I got so emotional, I almost cried. I think I did cry in that video at one point, near the end, and the album brought tears to my eyes. It was so beautiful, and thank you everyone for recommending that album to me, because now I just discovered a brand new artist that I did listen to before, so thank you. So this will be my first time listening to The Kick Inside, her very first album. I'm looking at the track list and there are 13 tracks. The album is 44 minutes and I don't recall hearing any of these songs, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. But enough talking, let's get into the album with track number 1, Moving. Where are my headphones? Okay, and that was track number 1, Moving, and this was very interesting. It's just like any other Kate Bush song that I've listened to so far in my life. It's very beautiful. How I'm moved, how you move me with your beauty's potency, give me life. Please don't let me go. You crush the lily in my soul. Moving liquid, yes, you are just as water. Flow around all that comes in your way. Don't think it over. I think I'm gonna have just as much a difficult time trying to decipher these lyrics as I did when I was listening to her Hounds of Love album. Now, there were some people making fun of me in my prior Kate Bush video for Hounds of Love. When I was trying to decipher the lyrics, I was trying to interpret the lyrics and find the meaning as to what she was talking about. And a lot of you suggested I look up the meanings of the songs online as I do these videos, which I do sometimes if it's really bugging me, but more often than not, I want to try and find the meaning to a song on my own. One of the fun aspects for me in doing one of these videos for you guys is me personally trying to understand what the artist is saying through their lyrics. There have been many times where I completely misinterpreted a song and I was way off the mark. And more often than not, I enjoy letting you guys tell me what you think the song is about, what you guys think the meaning of the song is, before I actually go online and try and find the actual real meaning behind a song. But she's actually talking about being moved by this person emotionally. They are moving her. So how my open arms ache, try to fall for me, how I moved, how you move me with your beauty's potency. It gives me life. Please don't let me go. You crush the lily in my soul. That's a very interesting line there. When I think of a lily, I think of something very beautiful, but also very delicate and pure. So this person gives her life, and this person moves her, and they crushed the lily in her soul. Like I said already, I thought this was a beautiful song. Anyway, let's move on to track number 2, the Saxophone song, which, if you know me, I've said multiple times in several of these videos, I love the saxophone. It's one of my favorite instruments of all time. I just love listening to it. Okay, and that was track number 2, the Saxophone song. And this song did not disappoint when it came to my love for the saxophone. I could honestly listen to the saxophone every second of every minute of every hour of every day of my life. That's actually taking it a bit far. I don't think I could actually do that. I don't know, I think it would drive me crazy. I could handle small doses of it, but when I listen to it and I just get in the zone and I just, it's the energy and it does something to me. The saxophone, I just love it. Shadows from your saxophone, a surely lady in tremor, the stars that climb from her bowels. Those stars make towers on vowels. This album definitely has a different vibe than Hounds of Love, which is to be expected because Hounds of Love was released 7 years after this one. It does say here that Kate Bush was writing songs since the age of 11. And that's when she also started recording demos. And then a friend of hers took these tapes to record companies in 1972 when she was 13. And the tapes were passed over, but the friend of hers who was taking the tapes to various record companies played the tapes for his friend David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. And it does say that the production of this album included efforts by several progressive rock veterans, including David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. Now that's real musical talent. Writing songs at the age of 11 and recording demos at the age of 13. I mean, she knew she was special from a very early age. I mean, when I was 11 years old, I was collecting Pokemon cards. And there Kate Bush was at the age of 11, writing songs and recording demos. But anyway, let's now move on to track number 3, Strange Phenomena. Okay, and that was track number 3, Strange Phenomena, and some of you might laugh or roll your eyes when I say this, but I'm just gonna say it because it's what I was thinking about as I was listening to this song. The production on this song and just the aesthetic of it reminded me of a song you'd hear in Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was just reminding me of Susan Sarandon and just the way she sings in that movie and just the production on the song. It was reminding me of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know if I'm the only one. Every girl knows about the punctual blues, but who's to know the power behind our moves? A day of coincidence with the radio, and a word that won't go away. We know what they're all gonna say. G arrives, funny, had a feeling he was on his way. Raise our hats to the strange phenomena. I would like to at least attempt trying to figure out what the song's about, but I have no idea. So just for shits and giggles, I will look up the meaning of this song. It says, strange phenomena is about how coincidences cluster together. We can all recall instances when we have been thinking about a particular person and then have met a mutual friend who, totally unprompted, will begin talking about that person. I would never have guessed, which is an interesting phenomena. I don't know if it's ever happened to me. I'm sure it has. When you start thinking about someone who has crossed paths with you in your life, and then you meet a mutual friend of yours, and you start talking to this mutual friend, and they bring up that person that you were thinking about. So now let's move on to track number 4, Kite. Okay, and that was track number 4, Kite. This was a fun little song. As you just saw for yourself, I was dancing to it, and it was really cute. I think this song is pretty straightforward. She wants to float in the sky. She wants to go up, 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 and she wants to go up and be like a kite. A diamond kite. Oh, what a diamond kite on a diamond flight. Over the lights, under the moon, over the lights, under the moon. And this probably has nothing to do with the song, but yes, when I think of a kite, I think of an actual kite floating in the wind above your head, amongst the clouds. But I also think of the expression high as a kite. So I don't know if that was also what she was alluding to. There's actually a word in this song I've never heard of before. Bizzlebub. Oh, wait. I have heard this word before. Wow, it's been so long. I remember this word from the book and the movie Lord of the Flies. Oh, I remember reading that book in English class when I was in junior high, I believe. It is essentially another name for Satan, and it does say that Beelzebub is a being capable of flying, known as the Lord of the Flyers, or the Lord of the Flies. Yes, I remember now. It's all coming back to me now. I have the sudden urge now to read that book again, Lord of the Flies, and watch the movie. Oh, it's been so long. Beelzebub is aching in my belly, oh, Kate Bush says in the song. But anyway, now let's move on to track number 5, The Man with the Child in His Eyes.
Lost on some horizon. Ooh, he's here again. The man with a child in his eyes. When I stay up late, he's always waiting, but I feel him hesitate. Ooh, he's here again. The man with the child in his eyes.
Okay, that was track number 5, The Man with the Child in His Eyes, and this was a very beautiful song. I realized he's there when I turn the lights off and turn over. Nobody knows about my man. They think he's lost on some horizon. And suddenly I find myself listening to a man I've never known before. Telling me about the sea, all his loves till eternity. Oh, he's here again, the man with the child in his eyes. So she is singing about this man. I mean, songs can have so many different meanings, but this is just my interpretation of the song. She's obviously singing about this gentleman, the man with the child in his eyes, and he is sleeping next to her, but nobody knows about my man. So I don't know, this could be a secret lover of hers. I realize he's there when I turn the light off and turn over. So she turns over on her bed when she turns the light off, and she realizes he's there, but nobody knows about him. And when I do read the title, The Man with a Child in His Eyes, I do think of a man who is still a child at heart. Like the old saying goes, the eyes are the gateway, or the eyes are the window to someone's soul. So when you look into someone's eyes, you essentially see their soul. And some people are still children at heart. And someone I think of is Walt Disney. It does say here that the song tells of a relationship between a young girl and an older man. Kate wrote the song because of a quality she saw in most of the men that she knew, how they are all little boys inside, and how wonderful it is that they managed to retain this magic. So now let's move on to track number 6, Wuthering Heights.
Out on the winding windy moors, we roll and fall in breeze. Down dreams of the night, you told me I was going to lose. It's me, I can't come home now. So you come home, me
Okay, and that was track number 6, Wuthering Heights. Oh, this song is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorites on the album so far, and this song was one of the reasons why I wanted to listen to this album next in my Kate Bush discography journey, because when I went on Apple Music, this is one of her most played songs. Originally, I was going to listen to The Dreaming, but then I noticed quite a few songs from this album were some of her most played songs, so that's why I decided to check out this album instead. I absolutely loved the production on this song. I like the production on the whole album so far, but this song in particular really resonated with me. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you. I loved you too. Bad dreams in the night. You told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave me behind my wuthering heights. And then she says, Heathcliff, it's me. I'm Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. So it looks like she is coming back to this person to put things right. I'm coming back to his side to put right. I'm coming home. So she's coming back home to this place and this person. I'm so cold. She wants them to let her back in because she's cold. She said, I hated you, but I loved you too. Now she is going back to this person. Let me grab you soul away. Let me have it. Let me grab you soul away. And Wuthering Heights is actually a book, which I knew. I've heard the title of this book throughout my life. I've just never read it. I am curious to know who this Heathcliff is. So Heathcliff is a fictional character from the book Wuthering Heights. A lot of you are probably rolling your eyes right now, which is completely fine, but I know absolutely nothing about the book Wuthering Heights. So not only am I gonna have to reread Lord of the Flies and rewatch the movie, I'm also gonna have to check out Wuthering Heights to kind of get a better grasp on this song. Kate Bush is putting me to work. I have some homework to do after listening to this album. So in conclusion, this song is one of my favorites on the album and I really enjoyed it. So now let's move on to track number 7, James and the Cold Gun. Okay, and that was track number 7, James and the Cold Gun. And this was another interesting song. So there is this James character, and he left town to live by the rifle. You left just to fight. The boys from your gang are knocking whiskey back. So this James character chose a life of violence. He decided to join a gang, I imagine. He decided to pick up a rifle. He decided to pick up a gun and just choose a life of crime and violence, I'm assuming. They are knocking whiskey back till they get out of hand and wish they were dead. They're only lonely for the life that they've led. So this James, he sold his soul to a life of crime, to a cold gun. Where lies your heart? It's not there in the buckskin baby. So your heart isn't in the gin you're drinking. Your heart isn't in the crime. It's not in the gun that you're shooting. Where is your heart? Where does your heart lie? It could also be about a man who chose to go to war, but I'm thinking it's about him joining a gang because she does write in the song, the boys from your gang are knocking whiskey back. So I have no idea. They want him to come home. James, come home. You've been gone too long. We can't let our hero die alone. So that's really interesting. So he's considered a hero. He's idolized. So maybe they now consider him a hero because he went off to war. Or maybe originally he was considered a hero for whatever he did. And he decided to choose a life of crime and join a gang and pick up a gun. I don't know. It all just means something else, and I'm just not picking up on it. This was another song on the album that I really enjoyed listening to. So now let's move on to track number 8, Feel It.
Just lost, but it will be fine. I'll feel it, my love. Feel I won't hide looking around. I won't pull away what you're doing to me.
Okay, and that was track number 8, Feel It, and I feel like this song is pretty self-explanatory. It's essentially about being intimate with someone else. It's about sex. After party, you took me back to your parlor. A little nervous laughter, locking the door. My stockings fell onto the floor, desperate for more. And then she goes on to say the glorious union. It could be love or it could be just lust. But it will be fun. It will be wonderful. So this guy took her back to his parlor and she was a little nervous because she is about to have sex with this person and they start undressing one another and she's thinking it could be love or it could just be lust. She could be falling in love with this person, or it could just be a one night stand. God, but you're beautiful, aren't you? Feel your warm hand walking around. I won't pull away. My passion always wins. So she won't pull away. She will succumb to this gentleman and his lust for her, and she's just giving in to the lust. She can't help herself. And it is interesting because she does seem to be singing about relationships and love and lust and sex. And like I said at the beginning of this video, she was only 19, so this might have been all new to her, you know, falling in love and having sex and feeling passion for someone. It is a very beautiful song. So we will now move on to track number 9, Oh to Be in Love.
As the light hits you, how did I come to be here anyway? It's terribly vague what's gone before. Why did you make it
Okay, and that was track number 9, Oh to Be in Love. So we're continuing one of the, in my opinion, one of the main themes of this album, which is love and passion. Why did you have to make me feel that? Why did you make it so unreal? Oh to be in love and never get out again. All the colors look brighter now. Everything they say seems to sound new. Slipping into tomorrow too quick. Yesterday always too good to forget. This was another great song, just like the rest of the album. This is a very consistent album. I do prefer Hounds of Love over this album just a little bit, but I've still enjoyed this album. So we will now move on to track number 10, L'Amour Looks Something Like You.
You came out of the night wearing a mask of white color. Hanging on the uncle's moon, and like an angel sleeping in our station. The thought of you sends me shivering. Hanging on the uncle's moon, look like an angel sleeping alone. Dying for you just to touch me. Feel your energy rushing right over.
Okay, and that was track number 10, L'Amour Looks Something Like You, and Kate Bush is simply in love. You could just hear it in the lyrics and her voice. And this is just a very beautiful album. You look like an angel sleeping off at a station. Were you only passing through? I'm dying for you just to touch me and feel all the energy rushing right up me. This is another romantic, beautiful, touching, loving song. So we will now move on to track number 11, Them Heavy People. Okay, and that was track number 11, Them Heavy People, and this was a fun song to listen to. I feel like it's the catchiest song on the album. It really does get stuck in your head, and I had fun listening to it. She is singing about wonderful teachers ready to teach me. I must work on my mind, for now I realize every one of us has a heaven inside. Them heavy people hit me in a soft spot. And then she goes on to say they opened doorways that I thought were shut for good. So these teachers are helping her, and they are helping educate her about, I don't know, maybe the music industry, life itself, and these people are opening doors for her. They arrived at an inconvenient time. I was hiding in the room in my mind. She was hiding in the room in her mind, and they arrived at a very inconvenient time. They arrived at maybe the wrong time when Kate Bush wasn't the most confident in herself. She was very secluded, perhaps, in her mind, and she was a little shy, perhaps. Again, I know nothing about her personality. Maybe she wasn't shy. But these people just arrived at the wrong time. She wasn't ready yet. They build up my body, break me emotionally. It's nearly killing me, but what a lovely feeling. So she loves this feeling of the people building up her body and breaking her down. So now we will move on to track number 12, Room for the Life.
Hey there, you lady in tears. Do you think that they care if they're real? Like it or not, we want you to. 'Cause we'll go, die for love. Night after night in the quiet house, plaiting her hair by the fire. How long do you think she can stick it out? How long do you think before she'll go out?
I get the sense that this is a female empowerment song. She is singing about, hey there, you lady in tears, you think that they care if they're real. Because we're women, no, we never die for long while we've got that little life to live for, where it's hid inside. So she's talking about life inside the womb, having a baby and wanting a child. Oh, woman, 2 in 1, there's room for a life in your womb, woman. Night after night in the quiet house, plaiting her hair by the fire, with no lover to free her desire. How long do you think she can stick it out? So it looks like this woman is alone by herself. There's no man in her life. And there's no lover, there's no man to free her desire of having a companion, wanting a child, being married. And then she says, like it or not, we were built tough because we're women. I love the message in this song. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so I can't relate to it as much as a woman could, but I definitely appreciate the meaning of the song, saying that we're women, we're tough, and we don't necessarily need a man in our life, even though we're feeling alone and we want a child, we want to get married, we want to have the perfect life with a husband. So if you are a woman watching this video right now, sound off in the comments and tell me what you think of the song and what it means to you. So we have come to the end of the album, track number 13, The Kick Inside.
I've pulled down my lace and the chips. This kicking here inside makes me leave you behind. This kicking here inside makes me leave you behind. You're
Oh, this was something else. Definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album. And it's interesting, the Kick Inside now has a new meaning for me. The actual title of the song and the album, The Kick Inside. At least what I think the song is about, one of the things it could be about is obviously pregnancy, the kick inside when you feel the kick of a baby. And that's a continuation of track number 12, Room for the Life, which she is talking about pregnancy and having a child in the womb. This kicking here inside makes me leave you behind, no more under the guilt to keep you warm. Your sister, I was bored. Your sister, I was born. You must lose me like an arrow shot into the killer storm. You and me on the bobbing knee. So it was her and this other person bopping up and down on the knees of a grandparent, a parent. It says, Your sister, I was born. So it looks like it's her sibling, your sister, I was born, so it's a sister and a sister, or a sister and a brother. Did we cry at the old mythology he'd read? So this parent or this grandparent, this adult would read mythology to them. And this goes back to what she was saying at the beginning and end of the song. I'll send your love to Zeus. This kicking here inside makes me leave you behind. So she's pregnant, I imagine. She's feeling the kicking of the baby. I definitely got a little teary-eyed listening to this song. And this whole album, I don't know what I was expecting going into this album. It's a Kate Bush album. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I was listening to Hounds of Love. And this is no exception. I have no idea. I don't know. There was a constant theme throughout this album of falling in love and being intimate with someone. And now this kind of concludes with a pregnancy, being pregnant. I don't know if Kate herself was pregnant. Again, with track number 12, The Kick Inside, I don't know if it's just a story she's telling. I don't know if she was actually pregnant. Maybe she wasn't pregnant, maybe it was someone else, I don't know, but there was definitely a theme of pregnancy as well, life inside the womb. So we are talking about love and being intimate with a man throughout the whole album, and now she's pregnant. So if you guys could share with me your impressions on this album and some of the stories behind it and other themes that I missed. I don't know about you, but I never fully understand a Kate Bush album on the first listen. And that's not just for a Kate Bush album either. It's for many albums where when you're trying to read the lyrics but listen to the production and you're trying to pick up on the actual story, but you're so mesmerized and moved by the actual music itself, so you miss things, you have to go back to it and be like, what did she say? I thoroughly enjoyed this album quite a bit. I do prefer Hounds of Love a little bit more than this album, but this one is just as good when it comes to the stories and the themes, and this album is just as special as Hounds of Love, in my opinion. This album definitely has a different feel than Hounds of Love, and it has a different energy, but it's still Kate Bush, and I still really enjoyed all the stories that she was sharing with me. This is one of those albums where I feel exhausted after I listen to it. It's just a lot to read and a lot to understand, and she's just magic, isn't she? And she was so young too. I mean, at this age, at 19, I mean, what was I doing when I was 19? Absolutely nothing with my life. I loved the production on this album. It was really good. It really moved me in parts. And the lyrics, no doubt, are simply remarkable. And she did sound a bit different on this album than Hounds of Love. Obviously, this is her first album, and Hounds of Love was 7 years later. So her voice would sound a bit different between the 7 years. There isn't a single song on this album I disliked. It's very consistent, and I liked all of them. Instead of picking up a book to read, instead of getting lost in the pages of a novel, just pull up a Kate Bush album and read the lyrics, and there you go. A story. I do want to check quickly and see if Kate Bush was actually pregnant during this time. Now, it does say she has a son named Albert, but it doesn't say how old he is. It says he's 22 years old, which means he was born in 1998. So does she only have the one child? It does say here that Kate Bush and husband Danny McIntosh welcomed their only child, Albert. So it looks like this is her only child. However, I am reading here that the kick inside about a brother and a sister who are in love, and the sister becomes pregnant by the brother. Oh, so is that referring to track number 13, the kick inside? Okay, her sibling, I was your sister. So she had a brother. Oh, what? The song, The Kick Inside, the title track, was inspired by a traditional folk song, and it was an area that I wanted to explore because it's one that is really untouched and that is one of incest. The actual song is, in fact, a suicide note. The sister is saying, I'm doing it for you, and don't worry, I'll come back to you someday. Just when I thought this video was over, I discovered this. Well, that took an interesting turn. Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to go over this album again. I would like to continue, but I really do have to end this video. It's quite long, so leave a comment, tell me your theories and ideas and input about this album. Let me know what you think. What are your favorite songs? What did you think of this album? And how does this album rank on your Kate Bush discography list? Does it sit near the top, the bottom, the middle? And officially, I think that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlist, and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time. However, I do want to say that in my next Kate Bush video, we'll be moving on to Lionheart from 1978. So she released 2 albums in the same year. The Lionheart album was released in November of 1978, and The Kick Inside was released in February. Oh, okay. So look out for that album, and take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.